What do you make of these little things that Bautista has? I mean, one day it's a tweaky back, and the next day he's got an ear infection, which I believe are unconnected under normal circumstances. One didn't cause the other. Is this just a fluke that there are now two things keeping him out of action?
I think so. I think actually I want to blame the back issues on Munenori Kawasaki, because he started that whole bowing epidemic.
The bowing thing?
Oh, yes, and it's just, I mean, everybody's back's in jeopardy with all this bowing going on. Of course, I'm just joking, but
how about one game at third base? Could that do it?
Well, there's a different kind of tenseness that goes on when you're in an infield position. I mean,
yeah, a readiness, a different readiness.
You are loaded, down there in the spring, the tight spring position, and you're ready to react. And I think a guy that's used to kind of being comfortable and loose and ready to sprint out in the outfield, as opposed to a guy that's ready to jerk or move or twist, it's a different load. And I understand why a fan would look at this kind of commentary and say, "Oh, give me a break." Yeah, right. He's a world-class, high-profile athlete. You're telling me that they change position for, a couple days and that does it. But, these guys they're trained to play in a position. Their body is trained in a certain routine. And when you break that routine, you run into these situations where guys get hurt. And that's why you covet a super utility player who has the ability to take the wear and tear of all this positional change.
All right. Here's what I would say to you. I would say to you that this doesn't happen unless he is prone to back spasms. And I think we've seen it a few times over the course of his career. So I think it's there. It could happen at any time. Mm-hmm. Now, was it initiated this time by playing third base? Maybe, maybe not. I don't question that it happened. But I think he's, we may see it again with him.
You may. And if you take a look at his swing, I'm surprised he doesn't pull more things. To be perfectly honest with you, I mean, he is a very visceral hack. He always has had that.
Violent. It's a violent swing.
It is. And, I mean, when you see him swing and miss, it twirls him around, and he doesn't get cheated. He really doesn't. And he swings as hard as he can swing. He is not known, especially since he started hitting home runs, for just trying to shoot the ball the other way. He has one speed for that swing, and it is max effort. And a guy that goes max effort all the time, you have the same problem when you talk about Brett Lawrie, just in a different capacity. He is max effort on the field all the time, and when you go 100%, there's a chance it increases for you to get hurt. So I think that as Jose Bautista ages, you're going to see back spasms flare up. What I'm worried about, Bob, is that this is one of those things that even if you change position for Jose Bautista, say, used to be, let's say, like, you take Alex Rodriguez, you move him to third base, he moves around less, the chance for him to get injured goes down. You can mitigate that on the field. Mm-hmm. When you're talking about a guy's swing, and it being the key, really, to what makes Jose Bautista,
yeah, you can't
change that.
No, you can't screw with that. So what's the best lineup right now, do you think, for this team? I mean, so Fleury plays third, so the second base experiment, I don't know whether it's over. I don't know what they established. Maybe that he could play there in a pinch, but so Laurie's at third, Encarnacion almost every day at first, except when he's spelled by Lind. Are there options here? Who's your second baseman?
There are options, and Meiser Torres is going to be your second baseman. And look, not a very productive hitter, but his contact rate is actually, this is a total nerd stat, but his contact rate leads all of Major League Baseball as far as putting the ball in play, making contact on his swing.
So he doesn't strike out.
He's not striking out, but he's not walking either, which is
I see.
Not helping his on-base percentage. He's just putting the ball in play, and it's pathetic when it happens. You asked me what the best lineup would be. And I hate to say this, but I've only got really one answer to that, and it's the lineup that does not include Emilio Bonifacio in the field at the moment. And that's a cold, hard statement.
I mean, did you? I didn't see any of this guy play last year. I'll confess. I only went by when he came over. Everybody did their homework and looked him up and said, and we talked to some people who'd seen him, and I mean, I got conflicting reports. I had one guy tell me he's a better second baseman than a center fielder. I had another guy tell me he's a better center fielder than a second baseman, but nobody told me he was a crappy player. They said he can run like the wind. He'll hit okay, but he probably needs to hit better. But nobody said he's a stone finger out there. He's a stone finger.
He is. He's got feet for hands right now. Absolutely.
Now, a lot of that is between his ears. I mean, ball players go through this a lot. the thing with him is, and this is the sort of the mitigating thing, when we were down in spring training, he had like 5 errors in the first week that they put him at second base. Throwing errors.
Throwing
right?
errors.
He had Steve Sachs disease, right?
Yes.
So, but he seems to get over that, and then everything was fine. He gets up here, he boots one ground ball, and all of a sudden he can't catch anything. I'm not sure I'm ready to give up on him.
Okay. I respect that. But I'm going to go back to his history a little bit.
Okay.
And I'll say there's a reason why an athlete which has so much talent like Emilio Bonifacio
Right.
has not yet played a full season in the big leagues. He has been up and down. He hasn't been in a position at a full time. He has had time in, had time out at every position. And in small sample sizes, he's been okay. But when you look at any time he has had 50 or better games, his run differential, the amount of runs he creates and the amount of runs he gives up based on poor fielding, slides into the negatives. And no one knows why that is. And, of course, the Blue Jays look at the stats and you're like, oh, this guy's got potential. Look at his speed. He can play all these positions. I mean, here's untapped potential, which is what a lot of teams saw in Emilio Bonifacio. But then
you can't hold it together.
Right. So there's a reason why he's not there, and now you're starting to see what it is, just like everyone else is starting to see what it is. But I will tell you this, you are onto something when you say, you see it happen to guys all the time, it gets in their head a little bit, and then they struggle, and you're not willing to give up on him. I don't blame you for that. I will say that he started off this year about as, I mean, he has become the scapegoat for why the team is failing. He has. People are forgetting the fact that the pitching staff hasn't been there. It's got roughed up pretty bad, that the team is not hitting collectively yet. But they're saying if Emilio Bonifacio wasn't out there and Colby Rasmus is, we're 500 right now.
No, that's BS.
Right. You take all those errors away, we win.
Yeah, no, you've never heard me say that. No, that's not true at all. I don't hold him as a scapegoat. I mean, look, you'd like to see better defense, but
the ball is finding him consistently, though, and you're seeing a guy maneuver to it without confidence.
Oh, yeah. He's scared of the ball. I mean, we've all played this game, and especially when you're young, you make a mistake, and the next thing in your mind, everybody has the same sentence in their mind. Don't hit it to me. Don't hit it to me. I don't want it right now. I don't have any confidence right now. I don't know what I'll do. And that's, I think, how he's playing.
I think if you put Emilio in the DH position, you let him just focus on hitting, he gets a chance to build.
I don't know if he can hit well enough for that.
Well, yeah, he's got to quit trying to bunt the first pitch of every at-bat and not bunting it.
Yeah, either do it or don't, right?
Right. But he can. I mean, that is really where his skill set is, because if you're going to keep platooning him out there in all these positions, if you're going to keep throwing him here and there and whatever, he's going to keep digging a hole for himself. You might as well have Anthony Gose up here. If you're not worried about his offensive prowess, you might as well bring Anthony up, because he's going to strike out 40 times, but you know he's going to play damn good defense.
Yeah. Obviously, they don't want to do that. I like this kid, Kawasaki.
Yeah.
I like this kid. I don't care that he can't hit. I like the fact he puts the bat on the ball. I like the fact he'll push the ball the other way. I love what he brings in terms of looseness to a team that probably right now isn't real loose. They're probably looking over their shoulder and saying, we're supposed to be better than this.
Mm-hmm.
And he's sort of provided a little bit of distraction from that. And he doesn't boot balls.
No.
He's okay. I don't think he's going to get to everything. I don't think he hasn't got a great arm, but he's pretty good.
I hate to contradict you there.
You think he can get to everything?
He's actually, over the course of his career, I mean, he's a all-star. He won a lot of defensive awards in Japan before coming over here. And his defensive metrics are better than, believe it or not, Jose Reyes.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't think, in observing him, it occurred to me that I didn't think his range was all that great.
I think that he has better footwork in getting to balls than Jose Reyes does. And what I mean by that is you see Jose Reyes has the speed, and Emilio Bonifacio suffers from this a bit too, has the speed to get to balls that other people won't get to, but then
can't make a play
can't make the play once they're there. Right. Kawasaki has the ability maybe not to get to as many balls as Jose Reyes.
But he'll make a play on everyone he touches.
Right. And he will make the routine play too.
Yeah. Oh, no. I like the kid. If I'm Alex Anthopoulos, my search for a shortstop until Reyes gets back is over.
And you know what? The big thing about that is everybody was convinced that Jose Reyes, this big spark plug personality coming out of the lineup, can't be replaced. And then here comes Kawasaki, who's a completely new flavor of spark plug, and everybody's loving it. His second at bat yesterday, the fans are chanting Kawasaki instead of "Let's go Blue Jays."
Oh, no.
I mean, unreal.
It is. It's totally unexpected. Totally unexpected. And then to see Bonifacio, for example, in that incident in the dugout a couple of days ago, after Kawasaki got the triple and then came home and scored the run, and they're standing beside each other, and Bonifacio bows to him, and then Kawasaki gives him the
V stay.
The V.
Yep,
yeah.
The V.
It was great.
That's fun to watch.
That's fun. I mean, that's got to be good for the club, too.
It is. And you see fans bowing to one another. Look, you need this kind of stuff. This chemistry. Can't quantify it, but it's
important.
It's good. It makes guys come together. And Brett Laurie was on the show today. He said exactly that.
We got to get out of here. Good to see you. Thanks a lot, pal.
You too, buddy. Thanks.
Stop by anytime.